Good Friday morning. I'm going to stick with Job, okay? Here, God addresses Job, okay? And this is interesting. He's saying, I'm smarter than you. That's what it comes down. No, that's overstated. But listen to this. I see this God is lovingly speaking to him. He's not condemning him. He's not saying, hey, what are you doing asking me questions? See, watch, let me read it before I ruin this thing, okay? So the Lord addressed Job out of the storm and said, have you ever in your lifetime commanded the morning and shown the dawn its place? For taking hold of the ends of the earth till the wicked are shaken from its surface. The earth is changed as is clay by the seal, and dyed as though it were a garment. But from the wicked the light is withheld, and the arm of pride is shattered. Okay? Be careful. Have you entered into the sources of the sea, or walked about the depths of the abyss? Have the gates of death been shown to you? Or have you seen the gates of darkness? Have you comprehended the breadth of the earth? Tell me, if you know all. Which is the way to the dwelling place of light? And where is the abode of darkness, that you may take them to their boundaries and set them on their homeward paths? You know, because you were born before them, and the number of your years is great. It's not, you see. Then Job answered the Lord, and he said, behold, I'm of little account. What can I answer you? I put my hand over my mouth. Though I have spoken once, I will not do so again. Though twice, I will do so no more. I'm not going to question you anymore. Okay? God's saying to him, look at that. Did you create the universe? Did you do this? Did you do that? Then what are you asking me for? Your account, your mind, you can't comprehend my genius, God's genius. I made the light, I made the darkness, I made the universe, I make things right, you see. And in a sense, he's saying to him, trust me. And that's what Job does in the end. Recognize your own weakness, your own finitude, your own limitation, and then you are open to the transcendent. You're open to the divine. As long as you're competing with the divine, you lose, because you will never comprehend or even come close to penetrating the divine wisdom, because your own perspective will get in the way. I think that's what he's saying. The beginning of wisdom is to recognize one's own ignorance and fallibility. That's all God is saying to him, I think. It doesn't mean you accept blind stupidity, because he also calls us to see the light and to reflect on it. But know your limitations. Recognize the depth of your limitations and exercise what are your strengths and your wisdom. Exercise it prudentially and wisely, understanding that the divine wisdom is infinitely beyond human wisdom. I think it's a call to a final wisdom that comes through faith. A final wisdom in what it's all about, as revealed to us by God and not by just human reason or figuring it out. In the end, the problems of life cannot be easily or wisely discerned and understood and ameliorated. In the end, maybe trust, rooted in faith, is the route to triumph, where goodness can triumph over evil, because we believe and hope that in the end, God's ways, though not our ways, are the good ways. And those good ways are always life-bearing and ultimately wise. You know, I don't know what it's like to be a non-believer in a divine personal, in a personal God, an intervening personal providential deity. I don't know what it'll be like to have no faith at all and only human wisdom. And I'm surrounded by that world, of course. So many of my fellow Christians are no longer Christian, they're atheists. So many. And many of them are people I love the most. And I wonder, how do you look at life? How can How do you look at life? Put it that way, because life is so conditioned and limited. I'm going to put an expression in here, by death. In the end, the logic of life leads not to a final wisdom, but to a darkness, because death overwhelms all that is good and personally good. You can say, well, the final wisdom is to accept your own finitude, and that'd be right. But that isn't enough. I agree with that. The beginning of wisdom is to recognize one's ignorance and one's finitude, that you're limited. That's truly the beginning of wisdom. But it isn't wisdom itself. Because in the end, as one philosopher, Whitehead, put it, time is perpetual perishing. He had to ultimately believe in God, or else it's all vanishing and perishing. And with it, so is wisdom. The wisdom in recognizing one's own finitude opens the mind and the heart to the transcendent, to God. Because you'll recognize that the ultimate wisdom lies in the heart and the mind of God. And then add the Christian mystery to that suffering helps us. That suffering is our share in the Passion of Christ, the Good Friday mystery. And therefore Easter Sunday. I mean that. I'm not pious about this. Man's Search for Meaning. You remember that? That was, you got to be old for that. That's Fulton Sheen's show I think it was on Saturdays. Man's Search for Meaning. Or Life is Worth Living. One of those. But I think it was Man's Search for Meaning. I think that's what it was called. He's right. We do seek meaning. But I think what we find, and so often it is difficult to find, is simply in terms of this life. So I've been beating this thing to death this week, but it's I think the bottom line. There has to be more, because death is final. If there's nothing more, death annihilates all that is personally good and beautiful and true, namely who you are and who the others are whom you have been blessed to love and be loved by. I find it very, very difficult to believe that my parents don't exist right now. They're dead 37 and 32 years respectively. My friend June's dead 14 years. Do I believe she does not exist? There is nothing more? No, I believe very much. And I talk to Junie and I talk to Mom and Dad all the time. Sometimes in vulgar terms. I said, don't let me F this thing up today, okay? Please help me. Especially I talk to June in those terms. Junie, I got to go teach this class today. I don't know if I'm ready. Keep me from making a big joke out of myself, you know? You see? Because she was, for 38 years, she was my companion. Every day I talked to her. Even when I lived hundreds of miles from here, I called her every day. She was my companion. She died 14 years ago of cancer. 14 years ago in 1 month, 27th of August, 2010. My parents died 37 and 32 years ago. I talk to my father and mother all the time. All the time. Yeah. Ma, Pop, don't let me screw this thing up, okay? Because I believe in their providential love for me. I believe that they are very much in my life. And one day we'll be together again. See? Ci vediamo in paradiso. We will see each other again in paradise, and we'll love each other again in paradise. And we'll look after those who have followed us, you see? We can maybe be their divine interlocutors. We will, in God and in Christ, be talking to and with those who are still alive. Just like I think of June and my mother and father telling me to stay out of trouble. You know? Maybe it's just, wishful thinking. I don't think so. It's hope in the triumph of life over death. And it's personal. I don't want to be remembered, as it were, what Job said, written in a rock. Go ahead, you can be written in a rock. I want to be able to see somebody and talk to them. I want to talk to them again. I want to be with them. I want to laugh again with them. I want to love them again, now, forevermore. It's personal. It's not, I don't want to be chiseled in a rock or chiseled in a book. I want I want to be writing the book, as it were. I want to be active. I want to be alive. And I want to be alive with those whom I have loved and been loved by. I've been saying that all week, haven't I? But the book of Job screams out at you. How could you not? How could you not think of it? Believe and hope and trust that one day we will all be together again in paradise. Ci vediamo in paradiso.